Hey, welcome to another episode of White Lithium Eurotrash. It's going to be fuel leak day today, as many days. I don't know, this winter and spring, early spring, if it ever warms up, has been nothing but fuel leaks for me, right? Because you've seen me battle the fuel leak on that Volvo. Actually, that one was pretty easy because Volvo is so simple and easy to work on. Same thing though, hose going from the tank to the fuel pump. I'm under there, we do the fuel pump, the fuel filter, blah, blah, blah. Saab, also same thing, blew the hose going from the pump to the accumulator on that car, did that fuel hose. I'm going to come back and do a fuel pump on that, but I have to do an exhaust and I have to rebuild the drive shafts. That's my daily driver, as I said before, going in the shop. And I'm going to be driving the Vanagon for a while. And of course, this BMW, I gotta just do something with this. Because you know when you have a car that doesn't run for a while, it's like, and it's so close. Like I did the starter, it's so close to being there. Such a great car. It's such a great car other than the little bits of cancerous rust that are just, how can a car be so rust-free yet have so much rust? That is the baffling thing about this BMW, because it's simultaneously in miraculously original and great condition, yet simultaneously has little bits of cancerous rust all over it, which is exactly what White Lithium Eurotrash is all about, because I drive them to love them. Okay, so let's figure out what we've got going on here. This hose, I believe, is the one with the problem, so we're just gonna fish a new one through there. The few people that watch this channel will get some inside baseball, so you know that I design products for farm equipment, and one of my new inventions was tested for the first time in the field today, and evidently it went pretty well, so that can be a very good thing that might let Joe potentially get more cars in the future. See, this car has so little rust, but then you look at little spots like there, a little bit of rust. Here, a little bit of rust, you know, on the underside. It was originally an Arizona car. It was never undercoated because it was an Arizona car. But then somebody moved it to the Midwest, drove it for a few years, and it got bad. But then they parked it. And if somebody would have treated it at that time, it would have been perfect. But you know what? This is just going to be something that we drive and enjoy. I didn't spend a ton of money on it. And it's just too beautiful. And it's beautiful to look at under the hood. So we'll do the best we can with it. But I'm not going to go the distance with this car. And of course, this car has the curse of the automotive hack, which is these God-forsaken hose clamps that look like they should be on your fucking plumbing fixture, your toilet, not on your BMW. And obviously somebody did some whack-a-mole hack job work on this, so who knows? Look under here, okay? It's all original. A little bit of seepage from the gear. The differential right there, original exhaust on it. They'll have to cut this exhaust out of my cold dead hands. Got some corrosion creeping in many places, but hey, I'm gonna dab some acid on it. We're gonna do some acid dabbing. That'll solve that. Yeah. You know what this car is? This car is so original, it's never had a single thing changed since 1980. Look at this, BMW, beautiful. We'll never change anything. We're just gonna drive it until it falls off and they make us change it, like what's happening precisely now. All right, every job like this is exactly the same on every old car, where you have to fish your hose through. And if you're smart, you connect the old hose to the new hose and pull it through. But if you're me, you're not smart. So you don't do that. It took me so long to realize the importance of silicone lubricant to just kind of like be that little helper that makes every job kind of slide through. Just anytime you need something to just slide a little bit better, don't reach for that WD-40, you know, something like this, because it evaporates off. Use the silicone. Hey, look at that. I've managed to fish this through. Okay. Okay. Anywho, yeah, all right, we got that fish through. Good. You know, if you use these types of clamps you need to get the ones from Switzerland, Oerlikon. And, you know, when you ride the train from Zurich, you pass right through. And don't cheap out, just get the good ones, okay? And don't be the guy that puts these on your vintage European car. That's just lame. That's so pathetic. Okay. God, did I fuck that up? Shit, I did. Because I might not have clearance for the plate. Hold on. Let's do a little test fit. Nah, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Okay, that's so fits. Okay, we're fine. Okay. There. Now that looks closer to the way that the Germans would have done it in 1980. Not exactly, but closer. This right here, what an embarrassment. Just stop using these. Well, unsurprisingly, somebody has patched together a hodgepodge of bullshit hoses to try and fix some leaks with some bullshit clamps, yet left the original, literally the original fuel pump, but then somehow stuck on some I think that's the incorrect fuel filter. So we're gonna let this leak off for a bit and come back later. Well, I finally removed this godforsaken hose fuel pump and filter from this car that had been hacked on by some amateur dipshit. Okay. This is when working with fuel and working with gasoline like this, fuel pumps all the time. Like, luckily every fucking car I own has required this exact same job for some reason within the past month and a half. Because this is starting to make me hate cars. Like, dealing with fuel. The smell, I don't like it. I don't like it on my skin. I try and keep it off of me. I don't like dealing with it. So I hope there's not much more of this in my future. And on that note, I'm going to shut it down for the night because I'm tired. Oh, hey, by the way, here's the engine, the Saab engine I picked up in Idaho. You know, the reason why you get to drive a cool car like this is because you're willing to do this bullshit work that nobody else wants to do. Like, oh my God. If you go into your local mechanic and tell them to deal with all this bullshit, it's just going to rack up, right? You're going to be at $1,000 here, $1,000 there. It's completely impractical. So, you know what? The struggle, I can't blame the struggle. Peace out. Hey, welcome to another episode of White Lithium Eurotrash. When we left off, I was dealing with the, fuel pump situation. Massive fuel leak on the BMW, 1980 BMW 528i. Since then, I've gotten some parts, so Got a new fuel pump. You can still get the original of that. Got a fuel filter. You can still get that. Came up with these rubber mountings from our beloved Euro parts. These will be sure to last right here, but I need some rubber mountings for the fuel pump because that's how BMW did it. And I got some original hose, and I got the right hose clamps, and I don't know. I was thinking about like trying to take some of the rust off this fuel pump bracket, but I'm kind of losing interest in that. We'll see. Let's also, since the last episode, I've discovered that there is a really catastrophic issue with the center steering link on this car, and which is going to throw a further roadblock in the way of me getting back on the road with it. But I did apply for a plate, so we're moving close. You know, and in Wisconsin, even though I'm currently in Illinois, I do reside in Wisconsin also. You can get the collector plate, the blue plate. You pay them $200, and you never have to renew it. And the only rule is that you can't drive, I think, in January, and you have to have another primary car. And then what happens is that you get a number series. Like for me, I'm 839917 or something. And then every subsequent car goes A, B, C, D, and it keeps in my number series. The fascinating thing about a car like this is how a car can simultaneously have so little rust, yet so much rust. Because it was the Arizona car, nobody ever undercoated it. So it is, all in all, I'm very happy with the corrosion level on the car. But it's not perfectly clean under there. It has a normal amount of rust, right? What to do about it, who knows? Maybe I'll try and treat it in some way. You know, I always need to be careful putting hot things in the garbage can. Little brief aside, when I was in college at the University of Iowa, I studied physics at the University of Iowa. And I worked as a machinist at the Department of Physics. They had this really great machine shop, and they would make, you know, stuff for laboratory experiments and even for satellites and things like that. And I had come into the machine shop after hours one day to weld up the muffler on my then girlfriend, who I married for, you know, I was together with for 20 years up until, frankly, just right now. And I was welding her muffler. Yeah, so unbeknownst to me, my boss at the time in the machine shop had put a bunch of magnesium shavings in this garbage can under the welding hood to, you know, for safety. And a spark went in this garbage can. And I thought, oh, there must be paper or something in here, so I'll put it out. So I take it over the sink and I pour water on it, and it explodes and singes my eyebrows off.
What?
Whatever. And because I'm feeling charitable today, might even hit this fuel pump bracket with a little paint / rust converter / total bullshit. See, now this is interesting. Here's the filter that was on it, okay? It has if you look at the general construction, it has the crimp connection down here, and, you know, and then you look at the new filter. This one is, I don't know if this is, I don't know. This doesn't have clear branding on it. If you look at the new filter, which is Male, the crimp is down here, so you would think that it would be just kind of like the same general theory, but here you have out here, and here you have out here, so actually you have to be very intentional about how you lay them out, because the actual sense of it may not be precisely the same as in terms of the way that they go on. See, I'm just gonna put this assembly together. BMW is so smart how they give you 2 different size lugs on this pump so that you can't mess it up. Kind of wondering if, you know, this form tube is an integral part of the assembly. That they must have had some distinct reason as opposed to just sort of looping flexible hose there. You know, going through this divorce at 44, you know, I don't even know what to say about it. It was entirely of my own doing, and it was entirely, at least a lot, over the byproduct of my own actions, right? And arguably, you know, pre-divorce, I would have been in a position to sort of like retire almost. But I think this divorce is going to be an amazing thing for me because, A, I have more to do. I'm not going to retire. I have more products to invent. I have more to create. I'm going to come back. I'm going to make more money. And B, I'm just going to like break out of this dynamic that I've been in for 2 decades where, you know, we just had gotten into this cycle of just a lack of progress. And it's going to be nice to not feel like I'm walking on eggshells all the time and just be able to kind of have some agency over my own life. And I'm excited for that. This BMW assembly is just really, what a smart assembly. I wish BMW of today was as kind of beautiful as BMW was back in this era. Like they just really looked after the details, and there was a lot of simplicity and beauty. Even the later generation, 82 and newer 5 Series, the E24 car, I think it is, just doesn't have, you look under the hood and it doesn't have the same kind of sex appeal that this, you know, E12 car has. Just the beauty of the intake manifold, the simplicity of the car, simplicity of the fuel injection system. Yeah, I don't know. BMW is normally not my thing, but this car, like it is beautiful. It's going to be beautiful to drive. Get some rubber mountings put on here. See if you use their tube, which goes like, what did it go like this? Yeah. Or no. How did it go? Yeah, like this. It's just much more compact than if you go like this. It's cleaner assembly. All right, well, we've got a reassembled unit with rubber mounts, and let's put it back on the car. Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut off these nuts from these stupid rubber mounts, but I don't love to use either heat or spark in this area. So what I've done is I've kind of roughly connected the fuel pump and filter in closed loop, just so that there's no open fuel to the tank or to the fuel lines around, right? To keep it basically a closed system and prevent a fire, which I hate doing this, especially because there's absolutely no way to get up in here. Yeah, so we're gonna have to kind of get ourselves situated. You know, I saw this lift, low ceiling height lift on Facebook Marketplace recently, and unfortunately it was 220 volts, and I don't currently have 220 here, although I probably will soon. as I start that Mercedes project. But I almost pulled the trigger on that. Let's aim the spark. Try and aim the sparks away from the fuel. Should be almost enough to just break it. There we go. That'll do. Come up in here. Okay, should do it. Boy, what a time to be alive. It's kind of funny, but my my cars were did come up in my divorce. They were the subject of much talk from my wife's lawyer about how much money I was dissipating into these cars, which really, frankly, is not very much money. And I'm actually not dissipating the estate. I'm adding value to the estate with these cars. That is for sure. But luckily, we decided to move to mediation, and that was much more successful. All right, and just like that, we have a new fuel pump installation. Feel pretty good about the components that I've used. Feel pretty good about the hose routing. This says correct period, correct hose there. It's the correct hose here. Hose is made in Germany. That's original BMW. Oerlikon clamps didn't skimp out. I actually sourced the correct rubber mounting. Let's come back here. Put new tubes and new clamps on there. Let's turn it on. We can't drive it today, unfortunately, because I have that very, very serious problem with the steering. First of all, let's go ahead and key it on. Sounds like something's pumping. Nothing appears to be leaking yet. Let's go ahead and turn it on. BMW has the most annoying and just like that we're running. So smooth. So smooth. Oof. A lot of exhaust. Oh shoot, I forgot I was low on coolant. Uh-oh. That was a big mistake. Forgot that I had that massive stupid coolant leak because of the ridiculous former owner Let's go ahead and just pop some coolant in here quickly. Okay. Ooh, and I didn't even have this on. Okay. Oh, if there's any justice in the world, you won't have to vacuum bleed this, Joe. I don't think I'm going to have to vacuum bleed it. Just put a little bit more of this in. See how much it takes. Leaked a fair amount out, I'll tell you that much. It was crazy. It was as if the just started leaking right around where the hose attached to the heater core going into the cab. That should do for now. Well, let's put a little more. Maybe it'll bleed some air out as we run it for a minute here. As I was remarking earlier, I'm always amazed at just how, for me, basically the whole reason I bought this car is because I find it very beautiful to look at under the hood with this inline six, with this really great looking intake manifold. The later ones just after 82 have the new Bosch K-Jet system that is kind of has a different manifold. It's not as nice looking. All right, take two. Should start right away now. Oh my God, it just starts like a dream. Nothing leaking there. Looks like nothing leaking there. Good job. So this thing won't leak fuel for a little bit longer anyways, until I'll show you what really concerns me is that situation right up there. But anyways, it'll run for now after I get the suspension pieces. Okay, and that concludes another fascinating episode of White Lithium Euro Trash. Just let you guys finish this episode with a I don't know. Have we concluded the episode too soon? Because it doesn't really want to idle that great. Oh, who knows? No, I think we're good to go. Peace out.